Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to improve our English. We want to improve our vocabulary. And we do so by learning few new words every day. Today is our day number 13. It's already up there. Let's see, what do we start with? We're going to start with an interesting word. The word is pedestrian. Pedestrian. No, not as a noun. Everybody knows the meaning of the word pedestrian as a noun, as in person on foot or person walking. But I'm talking about the meaning of this word pedestrian as an adjective. Do you know? It has a secondary meaning, in addition to somebody walking on foot, which would be the noun version of the word pedestrian, a person. As an adjective, it means something that is ordinary, something that is common, something that is boring, something that is dull, and something that is uninteresting, or better yet, let's put down undistinguished, or simply mundane, ordinary, common, just uninteresting. There is nothing new about it, there is nothing interesting about it. Something such as that it can be described as pedestrian. How did you like the movie? I didn't really care for it. The plot was pedestrian. The person is not saying that the movie involved a lot of people walking all the time. What they're saying is that the movie was ordinary. It was common. There was nothing interesting about it. We're going to learn a few more words, about half a dozen more words, which are also synonyms of the word pedestrian, or all of these words. I'm going to put them inside here. Let's put them here on this side. The words are Trite, Banal, hackneyed, Prosaic, Soporific, and finally Cliché. These are all synonyms of the word pedestrian. So what does pedestrian mean? Pedestrian simply means something that is common, ordinary, mundane, uninteresting, undistinguished. Banal, hackneyed, cliché, trite. Nothing interesting about it, soporific. We're going to learn all of these words in a second, and you will be more familiar with them, more acquainted with them. Let me erase this part so we can start talking about these words. But before I talk about the synonyms, these 6 synonyms of the word pedestrian, what will be a good antonym for it? An antonym, where should I put it? Let's put it here. We don't need the pronunciation. Pronunciation is very simple. Pedestrian is all it is. It's very simple pronunciation. No tricks to it. An antonym of this word pedestrian would be something that is unique, one of a kind, which is exactly what a unique is. I'm being redundant, I know. Extraordinary, new, unusual, different, and finally, novel. I want us to learn this word, novel, which also has two meanings, obviously. And the first meaning of the word novel everybody knows, which is kind of a book that one reads. But the secondary meaning of the word novel, again, novel as a noun would be the book. But novel, if you use it as an adjective in a sentence, it means something that is unique, one of a kind, extraordinary, creative, unusual, different, interesting, one of a kind, as opposed to something that is boring, dull, common, mundane, hackneyed, trite, clichés, soporific, and so on and so forth. Prosaic. So now that we know the word pedestrian, and now that we know a good antonym of it, here's the antonym of the word pedestrian. So novel means all of this, pedestrian means all of this. So now that we know the word pedestrian, and now that we know a good antonym for it, let's learn some more synonym of the word pedestrian. There are 6 of them here, about half a dozen of them. Let's learn them one by one. So I need to erase all of this thing, and we're going to cover all of these 6 words now. Something to be novel, if something is novel, what they're saying is that it is not ordinary, it is unique, it's one of a kind. Hence the word novelty. When a person goes in a so-called novelty shop, presumably they are selling something that you and I will not buy at a common store. It's a special store, they're selling something unique, something interesting, something creative, perhaps something handmade, something that is artistic. Not the ordinary mundane things that you buy in a regular store. I have a very strong urge to actually name a store, but I'm not going to. That's where we go and buy all sorts of stuff. Again, I stop myself by using another word, starting with a C, but I won't do that. So let's learn the word, all of these words. Trite. Now I know these words have very simple, pretty straightforward pronunciation, but as I explained to you in several different videos in the past, I just have a habit of writing the pronunciation of, when I'm learning the word, I have a habit of writing the pronunciation of the word every single time, every word, because I've learned it the hard way, being a non-native speaker. I've learned it the hard way that you cannot just simply go by how the word is written. Sometimes words, when the way they are pronounced and how they are spelled, bear no resemblance to each other. So even if the pronunciation is so-called simple, I wouldn't know that it's simple until I actually look it up and actually know for a fact that it's pronounced exactly the way it's written. Sometimes it's tricky. So I do that as an insurance. So here we go. Trite. What does it mean? And of course, if the word pedestrian, I should put here pedestrian. If the word pedestrian is adjective, and since these are synonyms, these are also all adjective. It means overused, and therefore commonplace. Something that is overused, something that is a commonplace is described as trite, and something trite is pedestrian. There's nothing interesting about it. Let's learn the next word. you see words such as this one, you have to know how to pronounce it. Hack, and then need, hackneyed. Which means exactly what as this one. Overused, commonplace, that's all. There's no same thing. Here's another word. Banal. Now this is an interesting word. This is an interesting word, which is why, as I explained already several times, I always make a point of writing the pronunciation. It's an interesting word because there are apparently two acceptable ways of pronouncing it. Banal is how I prefer, but some people pronounce it as Banal, which to me sounds like a very anglicized, or rather Americanized version of the word pronunciation. Banal. The word is banal, which is where the French word banalité comes from. It simply means distinct, overused, commonplace, something that is lacking freshness, lacking, I don't know if you can read my handwriting, something that is not fresh, lacking freshness. Something that is not fresh is something that is not new, something that is lacking something that is not original, is lacking originality. And that is banal, that is hackneyed, trite. What I'm going to do now is, in order to learn the last three words, the one that we left out are these three words right here. Prosaic, soporific, and cliché. I need more room so I don't keep going down. I don't like to write way down there because I don't know how far down you can read. So I'm going to erase these three words and we're going to learn those three. Okay? But these three words basically mean exactly the same thing. Trite, hackneyed, and banal. It just means it's not original, it's ordinary, it's commonplace. Somebody might make a comment about something as how banal or how trite. What they're saying is that I don't find it interesting. Let's learn the word. The reason I erase all of this thing, you'll see in a second, because these three words that we're about to learn require a little bit of discussion. Prosaic. Pro. Z. Ic. Again, all of them adjective. Prosaic comes from the word, prose, and therefore literally it means like a prose. As opposed to what? As opposed to what will be the antonym of prose? Well, the antonym of prose is poetry. In poetry, one would expect to see emotions, one would expect to see creativity, one would expect to see some life in it. Well, prose is something ordinary, mundane that you write to somebody. That's it, something that starts out with dear son and ends in sincerely. A romantic letter, a letter that may be written by a lover, hopefully is not prosaic. That'll be boring. That'll be silly. A love letter presumably will have some life to it. It will have some poetry to it. Will have some emotions in it, and hence the word prosaic. It simply means something that is like a prose. Literally, that's what it means, and therefore, metaphorically. And therefore, this means therefore, and therefore, metaphorically, it means something that is lacking imagination or creativity. Something that is dull. Something that is dull. Something that is straightforward. Something that is matter-of-factly, if you know the expression. Something that is a matter of fact. I mean, it's just straightforward. That's just the way it is. There is no emotions to it. It's just matter-of-factly. That's it. It's straightforward. It is dull, and that's something that has these qualities are described as something that is prosaic, something that is pedestrian, something that is dull, hackneyed, trite, banal. Let's learn the next word, soporific. I could actually just put down the word and give you the meaning and move on to the next word, but that'll be boring. There are plenty of videos like that where you can just watch the GRE word and they just give you word after word and they give you the meaning and that's the end of it. You want to put some life in the word. You want to understand the word so that it's easier to remember. Not only is it easier to remember it, but it also becomes more interesting. It should not be a dull exercise. Learning a language, which is what this boils down to. Even if you're a native speaker, you're learning a language, you're improving your language. Learning any language should be an interesting process. It should be, because it expands your imagination, it expands your vocabulary, it expands your ability to express yourself. Describing something as boring is one thing, but describing something as pedestrian or hackneyed or prosaic, that's another thing. Do you understand? Anyway, I do not know why I have these urges every single time to break into a bloody sermon, but that is what I do. The next word I want to cover is soporific. Now that is an interesting combination, a sermon being bloody, that is. The one I want to cover now is soporific. Again, an adjective. This word soporific, the word is derived from an Indian spice, and a spice from India, a very expensive spice at one time. These were some of the reasons what prompted the white men to come and invade our land and occupy it and colonize it. One of the reasons was the spices, and this particular spice was saffron. Saffron is a spice that we use in India, and if you talk to some people, not all of them, but some people will tell you during the Thanksgiving time that after having, perhaps it is the big meal in itself, or perhaps that's what's talking, or perhaps they are right in saying that when they eat turkey, when they eat turkey, they tell you that they feel sleepy. Turkey somehow induces drowsiness in some people. That's what the saffron does. We use saffrons in Indian cooking. And saffron has this quality that it makes you drowsy. It makes you feel sleepy afterwards. It makes you feel drowsy, and therefore, saffron makes you feel drowsy, and therefore, soporific literally means, soporific literally means something that causes, oh God, I shouldn't have gone this way. I shouldn't have gone this path because I don't know how to spell drowsiness. Bloody hell. This is not a good drowsiness. I think I put DROW, I believe. Drow, SINES. Something that causes drowsiness. It is not correct. It's correcting it. DROW. DROWSINESS. That's how I spelled it. Bloody hell. I'm going to put in the capital letter. DROWSINE. Let's put it in a simpler term so that we don't have to worry about the spelling of drowsiness. Something that causes drowsiness or something that induces sleepiness. How about that? Something that induces sleepiness or sleep inducing. That's what it means literally. Now, therefore, metaphorically, it has come to mean something that is, metaphorically, it has come to mean something that is dull, boring, uninteresting, unimaginative, uncreative, lacking creativity, and so forth. So, how did you like the lecture last night? Oh, I thought it was soporific. What the person is saying is that it was so bloody boring that they almost fell asleep. That's it. Something that induces sleep, by definition, is something that is boring, something that is uninteresting, something that does not stir any kind of emotion in the listener. They just sit there and go to sleep. Hence the word soporific. The very last word I want to talk about is cliché. I don't want any female to feel bad about the comment that I made about white men coming there and colonizing our land. Do not feel bad, there were also some white women. So I should have said white people. If it makes you feel any better. Cliché. Which is a noun. Oh, interesting. That is interesting. I just noticed it. Because all of these were adjectives. Something trite, banal, hackneyed, prosaic, soporific. It's an adjective. Cliché is a noun. What does it mean? Well, you know what it means. It just means an overly used, overused expression. An overused expression, something that is trite. Something that is trite. That's what cliché is. And clichés, because they are used so often and so frequently, that they begin to lose their effect. They begin to lose their efficacy. They begin to lose their punch. They just become they become clichés. They become very trite. That's all. That was the end of today. So the word that I wanted to learn today was the word pedestrian. Interesting word. And from the word pedestrian, we learned the word novel. Another interesting word. And after we learned the word pedestrian, I thought, why stop at that? I figured, let's go the whole hog. No, don't ask me what that means. I just picked it up from somewhere. And I decided to learn a few more nice synonyms for it, for pedestrian. And we learned 6 of them. Trite, banal, hackneyed, prosaic, soporific, and cliché. Alright? That was the end for today. I will see you tomorrow on day number 14. I hope you find these lessons interesting. Because that's how you expand your vocabulary, little by little, every day, few words at a time. And if you keep at it, if you have the discipline, your vocabulary will expand. You make a habit of writing them down in a notebook or an index card or whatever it is, learn them properly, and then begin to use them in your writing, begin to use them in your speech. Not only that, but you will also, next time when you see these words, then when they crop up in the reading part or in the listening, if you're listening to somebody, a lecture or a speech or something, and if any of these words crop up in there, you will notice the word. You will say, aha, I know the word, I know what it means. I understand now what he's talking about when he says, well, it was a novel, it was soporific. Well, you will understand what he's talking about. Anyway, if you wish to get hold of me for personal private tutoring, I tutor for GRE, GMAT, SAT and TOEFL. As you can see there, you can go to any of these websites, prepforgre.com, prepforgmat.com, prepforsat.com, prepfortoefl.com. Go to any of these website addresses and send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to help you for whatever test that you're preparing for. I do private face-to-face tutoring, I do tutoring over the telephone, and I also tutor over the internet via Skype. Okay? Or you can simply go to kashwaniprep.com and send me an email from there. Alright? Thanks.